very warm welcome to everybody out there. Here we are at the Europa Sports Stadium here on the second most southern tip of the European continent, Gibraltar. We have been here for last week. This is night 8. This is FanCode T10 ECA series in Gibraltar, and we're here to watch Bavaria taking on Turric. One would have to say, two of the more dominant or more respective teams in this tournament. As you can see and no doubt here, it is quite blowy here, and it's Bavaria who've won the toss inside the field. It's Pai who will be facing young Robin Petrie. An outstanding over last night. He took over from Kenner Nesta, who bowled 2 no-balls and proceeded to bowl 6 dots in a row. Here he goes. Everyone's ready. Let's play some cricket. And that one just veering down onto the pads and whipped away by Pai down to fine leg. He gets off the mark with a single. I am Joe Wegasani. It's my pleasure to be sitting here in this beautiful stadium. We've really enjoyed our time here and continue to do so as we head towards the pointy end of this tournament. These two teams both vying for positions in that top 2 spot. Here's Petrie with his second delivery. That one outside off, and it's been lifted up and all the way. One bounce over the rope. That was a very fine shot. Turric opening the batter, Mark Gowes. Just managed to pick it up off a length and lift it over the bowler's head, down to long on. So he gets his first boundary for tonight's proceedings. A big hello to everybody who's watching on FanCode in India and YouTube, of course. European Cricket Network, that's our channel. Get involved. As this one, well, it strikes Gowes on the pad. Didn't offer a shot. He's down on the leg side, and they managed to send each other back. Didn't scramble a single there. Yeah, so both these teams, Turric currently they're sitting on 10 points at the top of the table, having played 6 and won 5 of them. Whereas Bavaria, well, they're timing their run. They're on 6 points after 3 victories. And that one short, pulled away through mid-wicket. It is not going to reach the fence. As Bavaria skipper Ian Lattin, a bit of a Latin dancing his way around the boundary rope to collect that and keep them to 2 runs. And yeah, if you're in the chat, you might have noticed there was a bit of a technical difficulty earlier. Of course, the wonderful Blue Army, the ECN crew, managed to get it fixed just in time. That one short outside off and spanked away. Well, that's gone even further, all the way over the rope. 6 big ones to Mark Gowes. Great way to keep consolidating this already good over. It's already gone for 13. So that's a good start for Turric. They'll be feeling fairly confident, Turric. They did suffer a shock loss, of course, the other night, but have responded admirably and will continue to do so, one imagines. This one, Fuller on the stumps and patted away again into the mid-wicket region. Andrew Reyes is roaming around. He collects it and keeps it to just the one. That is the end of the first over, so 14 off it, and that's the score for Turric, 14 for none after 1 over. Bavaria having won the toss and sent them in. Yeah, so it's a very blowy day today. We've been talking about that all through the series. The wind comes from the east and then it comes from the west. Today it seems to be coming from everywhere. As we sit here and look upon this ground with the lovely Mediterranean Sea there in the background. You can see here there's some warm applause. The crowd's already gathering here. It's been sensational in Gibraltar each and every night. People coming in to watch some cricket. So this one, it's Cameron Nesta who's taking the ball. His first ball is short, pulled away behind square, and that will be 4 more bickies. So Mark Gowes, he has had his wheat bix today. Come out absolutely breathing fire. I'm going to see the usual suspects in the YouTube chat, of course. Luke Belgium, big hello to you, as well as Michael Dalb. And of course, if you are watching along and want to get involved, send us your questions. I keep saying us, I'm used to it. I'm actually here all on my lonesome tonight. Mr. Maximo, Vinny Sando, he's retreated back to Malaga in preparation for the ECL. Is that one too straight from Keynes and it's been whipped away? Another 4 to Gowes. He is on fire at the moment. As he just followed that one and opened up his front foot, whipped it around the corner. So proceeding where he left off in the previous over. Avinash Pai, he hasn't had to do much. Faced first ball, picked up one, and now he's just had the pleasure of standing there at the non-striker's end and watching Gowes accumulate 21 already off 7 deliveries. So that means Keynes is going to respond by, it looks like, coming around the wicket. Trying to create that angle, the 2 men out, so we've got a deep mid wicket and just having a look here and long on. So 4 on the leg side, 5 on the off, all in the circle. That one is also down the leg side and gets the same treatment. In fact, it goes even further. That is another big 6. Well, that is some way to get going. I'll tell you what, that ball is taking a beating. Ian Latin, the Bavaria skipper, he's going to have a job to do, you'd feel, when it comes to his turn to wield the willow. Nice warm round of applause as well. All the spectators over there in the grandstand, they are enjoying it indeed. It's just been a tournament imbibed with community spirit, this one, as Kenroy Nesta comes around the wicket. And again short, and again pulled away, but on him a little bit quick, so it just trickles off the glove and peters down to that short fine leg, and he gets 1 more run. So Avinash Pai will get a chance to face another delivery. So big hello as well to Sam Nick. He's sitting there with a glass of sparkling wine, waiting for dinner and watching the cricket. That sounds absolutely delightful, Sam. As this one was tailing away, but still a bit straight. And Avinash lucky not to get a leading edge on that one. It wasn't hit with any great conviction, but he does manage to muster 1 more run to the total. Yeah, you can no doubt hear it. It is extremely windy, extremely blustery. I've taken to the practice of walking into the ground every day now. It's about an hour and a half walk from across the border in Spain, and it was blowing from all corners. Continues to do so. This one fuller and pulled away again, and they're just going to have to watch as that goes a 1 bounce over the rope. And Gowes, well, he has rocketed away, 32 off 10, and that is the end of Kenroy's over. Goes for 20, can you believe it? 20 runs, and that is a mega over. A sparkling array of leg side shots, and after 2, Turric, they are 34 for 2, 34 for 2, 20 off that over. Keynes will not be happy about that. So there's going to be a bowling change now, and Andrew Reyes is going to come in. So they're saving Petrie for the end. I think that's probably a good move. He has proven to be fairly economical as we have a look at the standings there. As you can see, Bavaria in 3rd place and Turric holding down at 1st position, and they will want to consolidate that with victories tonight, knowing that the Calpe Giants and Bavaria are hot on their heels. Here's Reyes now, and a good line and length, just driven fairly sedately to mid-off for a single, so he will relinquish the strike, and that's probably a good move, because I'll tell you what, the way Gowes has been hitting it, you want him at the striker's end. Sam Nick is feeling a big 80 here for Mark Gowes. Well, he almost made you eat your words there, Sam, as he chops that one to backward point and sets off for 1 run. And a big hello So, g'day, James Stewart. He's there in Australia watching along. Lovely to have a bit of connection with the homeland as that one is patted away on the onside. And Pi says, no thank you, no run. So, 3 deliveries left in the power play now, and they've already made a very, very nice procedure of it as Avinash drives that one again away, and he doesn't have to do much. Avinash understanding the role that he can play. We had Sam Horton on the commentary the other night, and he was just explaining with T10 cricket as Race comes in. This one a bit short, and it gets the edge. Goes for the slade cut shot, gets an edge, but no real pace on the ball, so just one more to it as it trickles down to that short third man. This time comes down the pitch, meets with the full face of the blade, drives it through covers, finds the rope. Avinash by, well, he doesn't need to stick around that much. He feels he comes down, meets this, and plays a fine cover drive, hitting through the line of the ball. And that is the end of the third over, end of the power play. So 8 off that one, and Turric are 42 for the loss of no wickets. You can see there the urban development chart. Well, they started big. They built a moderate tower and then a skyscraper, and then the investment dropped off. So Reyes should be fairly happy with that, only going for 8. But it is a very good power play. Yeah, so Sam Horton saying that, like in conventional cricket, you have someone anchoring and someone turning it over. In T10, you need to have someone turning it over and someone hitting big. And that's exactly what these two are managing to accomplish. I agree with you, Sam Nick. A lovely flowing cover drive Pi has exhibited there. And looks like it's going to be Christian Lowe comes into the attack now. So 5 men out, 4 of them on the leg side. And this one just veering down leg and paddled around the corner. It might beat the fielder. It's Reyes. He dives and he makes a pretty good shout of it. I think they might have to check this because he did tumble a little bit across the rope. It's just whether it was a coincidence of the ball touching his hand. Let's have a look now. Slow this down. Oh, I think he's done a pretty good job. And the umpires seem to agree. Third man over there has conceded. That's just 1 run. So Gow's this time. It's wide outside off. He slaps it down at 2 mid off for another one. So sorry, that was 2 off the previous one, so 3 off this over already. The partnership gets along to 45 now. That is a fantastic start for Turric. So he comes low, and it's full, and it's driven. There is a man at long on. Collect it. It's an interesting field. We've got a deep backward square leg, a deep mid wicket, a kind of sweeper on the leg side, and yeah, kind of short mid on, shortish, wideish mid on, and then a long on. And long on's going to come into play. No, in fact, he's going to watch the ball sail over his head as that one has gone big. That is a 6. So Gow's absolutely doing the bulk of the heavy hitting at the moment. He just watched that one right into his hitting zone and played it straight down the ground. So the partnership now over 50, 52 it is. This one's shorter and he's gone the same direction, but he's got a top edge and the fielder's coming in, but could not quite reach it in time. So 2 more to Gow's, who is getting really close to a 50, 45 he's on now. That's been a remarkable display. Yeah, Gow's had a good lunch. He's had his Wheat Bix. And he has come to play. And he's going after this again. He's going to have to be careful here. Keeps playing it straight. Hasn't quite got a hold of the last 2. Unfortunately for him, both long off and long on are on the rope. Long off is really, really square as well. So there is a big gap straight down the ground. And we know he's got the power. That's the end of the fourth over. 55-0 is the score. No wickets down. That partnership is getting into a big one, and you can tell us what you think about it in our live chat on the European Cricket Network YouTube channel. Plenty of great participants in that. In case you fear that we are under attack from gunships, that's just the wind blowing into the microphone. As it is going to be Reyes coming in to finish his spell, and probably a good one. He only went for 8 in his first, and they certainly need a containing over here. Arnie deceives Gowes, comes down the pitch, and that ball was given flight, just bobbed down. He played all over it. Unfortunately for him, it missed the stumps, went down to fine leg, and he took a bye. So Ahmad Mughal, he thinks it's going to be 130 plus in the chat. Let us know what you think. They are in shape for here. There's Pai, dances down to the track and drives it again with that beautiful flowing action of his. Picks up another one. And they've done really well here. There hasn't been a single over where they haven't hit a boundary. In fact, 4 of them, 4 boundaries, including a 6 in the second over, which was really the damaging over, as that one comes off the inside of the bat, and Ian Latin fields it out there at mid-wicket. So Reyes continuing to be fairly economical. Well, Pai wants to change all that, and he's hit that straight. It's not going to make the rope, though it is. It took a big jump, and despite the best efforts of Robin Petrie down there, he just could not cling onto it, and it rolled off his hands and over the rope. So 4 more. So there you go. There's the boundary of this over, and they have been really good with that. It's really interesting. There's different ways you can approach T10 cricket. As Pai, for some reason, he decided to go the switch hit. He misses it completely, so that's an important dot. Yeah, it's pointed out by Luke Belgium in the chat, the highest individual score is 75. That was this man who's on strike, Pai, who comes down, meets it on the full, and drives it straight down the ground for another one. Gowes, I tell you what, he is looking in fine fettle. He's going to have to wait a little bit though, because that's the end of Ray's second over. He finishes with 16 of his 2, and up to 5, Turric 63 for the loss of nothing. We can have a look there at the FanCode European Fantasy Dashboard for the next match to come up. Oh, for this match, sorry, that's this one. So it is all building as this series goes on. These players accumulating points. You can see that Reyes for Bavaria, he's also been very good with the bat, and I think it'll be up to him and Latin to build a similar kind of opening partnership as what we're seeing here from Turric. As we reach the halfway mark, and there's our bat first ball wall calculated by the Crickpot in the ECN Super Lab. So Latin's coming to the attack now, and this one again, Pai, he's using his feet really well. Using his feet very, very well, just forcing the bowlers to think about their length. Anything that's on a good length, he's not afraid to come down. And tell you what, he's confident, because the man behind the stumps, Bazaglo, he's been very good in this series. And that one at top edge, and it's gone over Bazaglo's shining head and rolled down to the boundary for another 4. So that is going to be his 50. Gowes, great effort. 52 he's on now. Wasn't the most, it was probably the least convincing shot that he's played. But yeah, got the result that he wanted. So there's the boundary for this over, and yeah, it's just one strategy: hit a boundary every over, and it'll certainly get your team to a decent position. Gals, he wants more though. He slaps that to mid-on. There might be a run-out chance. It would throw just going wide of the stumps as Latin backtracked and tried to get in behind it. Would have been out if it was hit. Should be able to see it here. As the ball comes in, yeah, he was gone for All Bunny. So Gals gets a life, you might say. That one, well, big edge, so a bit of spin there, and a nice piece of fielding by that man. That is Ryan Grimes, I believe, down there, third man. It's kind of more he's very wide, short and wide, so more of a 45-degree third man. As the full ball is missed by Gals. He doesn't want to get too far ahead of himself here. Midfielder Latin has quite a lot of responsibility on his shoulders in his 2 overs here. He doesn't want to go for any more than this. 1 ball left. It's a full toss, and it's been spanked over the head of Andrew Reyes and over the rope. And I'll tell you what, that is some powerful hitting from Gals. He is seeing it like a balloon at the moment. Right out of the middle of the bat, flat, straight, hard, and over the rope. 6 runs. That is the end of Latin's over. He ends up going for 13, I believe. And so that means that after 6 overs, Turric, they're on 76 for none. Haven't lost a wicket as this partnership continues to grow and grow and grow. And I think this is the right move. So the leading wicket taker of the tournament, this man, Samath Bodda, he turned 19 just a couple of days ago, and he has proven that he can pick up wickets. He attacks the stumps. From memory, he's got 7 wickets in this tournament, equal with Adam Orfila, who's playing for Turric. So they are in a battle today. And yeah, that's just been met on the full. And a great diving effort by Kenroy Nesta. Look at that commitment. And there might be a run out. There's going to be a run out. Well, I can't believe it. I cannot believe it. Kenroy Nesta has produced something special there that has allowed Bavaria to create a wicket out of nothing. Avinash Pai, he was watching the ball, certain it was going to go over the rope. He made it down for 1. It was an ambling single when Kenroy Nesta dived to his left, slapped it down in midair, and then his teammate hurled it back in. Well, I'll tell you what, Avinash Pai, he was caught napping, caught ball watching, and the throw here from Robin Petrie is such a good one. Might have a look side on. And we'll see here, this throw coming in, Bazaglo getting in a really good position. And easy as you like, perfect fielding, and that's how you do it. That's how you break a dominating partnership. That is 76 or 77 it should be for 1 wicket lost. Avinash Pai walking back to the sheds. I'll tell you what, Samath Bodda, well, he didn't get the wicket, but something always happens in his overs, and as it was, I'm going to give a big round of applause to Kenroy Nesta for that piece of magic in the field. He was horizontal as he slapped it down. And he hasn't had the best time of it, Kenroy, of late. Had a few fielding and bowling mishaps and hasn't really fired since the early stages of the series with the bat. But it's all the 1%ers. And that was certainly a 1%er that created a chance, and Bavaria, they have taken it. So that brings Samir Nayak. He's back now after being on Spanish national team duties. And first ball, he dances down the track, tries to hit it all the way up to the monkeys on the rock. But all he does is slap it to that kind of odd fielding position in which Ian Latin is roaming. It's kind of a short cow corner. Wide mid on as that one's been hit in the air, and Petrie's coming under. He should take it. Oh, he gets down low, and it was a difficult catch. Hard to judge those ones, and he was down low as he took it. He got himself in a pretty good position, but as it was, the ball just tumbled out of his hands, so they take another run. So Bodda in now. And that one, it's just been dragged away on the onside, and Reyes is going to stop it. He's done well. He tumbles around and he flicks it back to Nesta. Some good teamwork there. They're really helping each other out. Yeah, so we've got long on. We've got Kenner and Nesta. He's kind of sweeping the leg side boundary, and Reyes is there at deep square leg. And then Ian Latton's in at mid-on. So this one driven on the up over the bowler's head, and Robin Petrie does the fielding. So one more Gowes. He's on 61 now, so he's certainly threatening that higher score. And you might have noticed him up Botter. He's got a little bit of a limp. I was talking to him earlier. He's hurt himself yesterday. And he is persevering, the young fella. Here he goes. Full of ball outside off. It's driven square of the wicket. And a bit of fancy footwork by Andrew Crom out there, who manages to keep them to just the one. So that's the end of Botter's over. He goes for 6. That's a good containing over, and 82 for 1 is the score for Turric. And I'll tell you what, they needed an over like that, and Botter, he produced. And folks, get excited, because tomorrow we've got day 1 of the first week of action over in Malaga, the European Cricket League. Got 5 matches happening starting at 8 o'clock GMT and 9 o'clock Central European, and 1:30 in India. Here's Ian Latton now. And that one, well, it's been pulled away, and no amount of diving is going to help Kenroy Nesta there, because that went sailing over his head. And Samir Nayak has shown that he can also find the rope, and he can also hit it well over it. So he picks up 6 runs. That one just back to live action. Played away backward of point, so they get 1 more. Of course, you can check out all the information about the ECL and all other series that we'll be putting on during the year on our website, europeancricket.com. As this is weighted upon by Gowes, I think he did pretty well there. That was the kind of ball that, the form he's in, his eyes would have lit up, and he did pretty well to restrain himself and just tickle it away on the onside for a single. So this time Samir changes up the line by wandering across the offside. He slaps it away to Chrome. He does pretty well to keep it to just 1. So Bas Janssen in the chat, he reckons that he never would have quit cricket, as Latton gets 1 through Gowes, and unfortunately it gets through Bazaglo and past third man, so that is going to be 4 byes, I believe. Bas Janssen thinks he never would have quit cricket if he knew that ECN was on the horizon. Well, I can tell you, Gowes, that this is not professional cricket. These are all players playing for the love of the game. That's certainly a pretty good standard, it's got to be said. We've been super impressed here in Gibraltar. Looks a lot easier when you're watching it from the couch. Now Gowes just really cut back a little bit in these overs. It's been a good little period for Bavaria, picking up that wicket, and then also not being splayed around so much. Ian Latton, he finishes his spell, 23 off it. And after 8 overs, Turric at 96 for the loss of 1. And we can have a look at the worm there, and yeah, it looks a little bit like the Rock of Gibraltar. They were hitting, there's only been 1 over that hasn't had a boundary hit off it, and that was by this man, Smarth Botter. So I think pretty good move to bring him back in. He'll bowl this one, and then I'd say Robin Petrie will bowl the last. So big responsibility for 2 young guns. Full and spanked away. Well, that's a boundary. In fact, that is maximum value. Over the rope, 6 runs. Just getting it wrong there with the length. Too full. And Gowes, he is, well, as pointed out in the chat, he is now the leading run scorer in this tournament. And if he gets another 6, he will match the highest individual score in ECN Gibraltar. Well, he's not going to get on that one as it just gets the toe of the bat and dribbles down to Pizzaglo, who makes a pretty nifty job of stopping any buys. Yeah, good. Well pointed out in the chat by Sam Nick. Bus, if you want to sign up and you're part of an associate nation, plenty of cricket clubs around Europe. I have a feeling as that one's full and driven on the up over to cover. And Gowes picks up one more. I have a feeling by Bas Jansson's name that he might be a Nederlander. So plenty of cricket clubs there for you to get involved in, and hopefully we really hope to be getting to the Netherlands this year again. We had a wonderful series in Capella last year. So this one full and pulled away. Samir Nayak, he is not going to let that one go without hitting it as far as he can, and he's hit it all the way over his team's seats. Didn't even middle it, just came off a little bit of a top edge, but cool as a cucumber. Samir Nayak, he's an assistant coach with the Spanish national team. If you are wondering about the quality of cricket being played here, he's a very, very good player, and he has missed the previous few matches, but he's got 2 Player of the Match awards in this series already, and certainly a candidate for Player of the Series, depending what happens from here. So Boda, he's gone for 13, so thereabouts in this over. And that one, well, Smith, oh, it's been taken! Can you believe it? One of the best catches we have seen in this series. He just squeezed that out. It was a fuller ball, very wide outside off. Samir Nayak playing off the back foot. He's pinched it up and running from backward point. That looks like Crom. He stuck out the right mitt and it has held fast. What a way. Have I missed something? I think I have missed something. It was a free hit. Oh, terrible by me, excuse me. Oh, it came off the pitch, so it wasn't on the full. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm sitting in the crowd and I reacted it like it was a crowd catch, and that's what it was. Got carried away. Chrome did it very well to field that bump ball. No, it was a free hit. Yep, that was it. It was a free hit. What I had been no-balled on the 6. So there we go, just getting myself mixed up. And who's also not mixed up is Samir Bodo, batting way outside the off stump, just so he can do exactly that. Smashing it over the mid-wicket. And a good catch taken by Avinash Pai, his captain. So big question in the chat, what distance is it to the, well, we go 50-metre circles. It's a 50-metre radius. As that over comes to a close, Samir Boda, he finishes with 28 of his 2. And after 9 overs, 118 for 1. Turric. Yeah, so ECN, conventional distance from the pitch to the rope. We go 50-metre radius. Yeah, you and me both, Sam, Nick, in the chat. I got super excited about that. Missed the no ball. That time, Gowes, well, he might be caught here. No, he's not going to be caught unless it's Avinash Pai again, who is doing some extra fielding practice, because Gowes has just spanked a massive 6, and in doing so, he has become well, he's already the highest run scorer, but he's racked up the highest individual total. He's got 5 deliveries left. See where he can finish up. Petrie, good delivery. Maybe just angling in at the stumps, but driven away pretty aptly by Gowes there, and he'll give up the strike. He's on 78. So Samir Nayak showing his wily ways here, and he's chipped one up, and that's been taken. That wasn't a free hit. That is out. Samir Nayak, well, great little knock, 24 off 10, but in the end he just chipped one up, and Petrie and Samath Boda combining there. I think that was really good bowling by Petrie, because doesn't he love it? The young fella, balled up, taking a good catch. Not easy, those ones. It came at him fast. That was good bowling by Petrie. Samir Nayak was batting very far outside the off stump, just showing his experience and innovativeness in this format of the game. But Petrie did not let it sway him, and he just kept attacking the stumps. And they had that, they've got that kind of mid-on, that whitish mid-on, as well as a long-on. And that's exactly where he chipped it to. That position where Boda is fielding. Good evening to Taranjeet Singh as well in the chat. Lovely to have you here as Petrie comes in. Gets one past the flailing bat. Templeton and Jimmy Templeton, who we haven't seen so far in this series, but pretty good time to come out when your team's at 125 for 2 and you've got 3 deliveries. Just get a bit of experience under your belt. So Petrie, yeah, exactly what he should have done is what he did. Just nothing short, attacked the stumps and had it swinging in to the right-hander, and he's bowled him, so he's picked up another wicket. Good work by Petrie. He's been a great bowler. 2 for 21 he's got now. So have a look at that from the side on camera. And just a difficult ball, really good length. And the batter just didn't get enough behind it. Didn't get anything behind it, obviously. 123 for 3 with 1 delivery remaining. This is a double wicket over for Petrie. He has gone for 6, but otherwise it's been 6-1 wicket dot wicket. That is pretty great bowling. So it's Michael Kelly now face the final ball, and he's managed to lift that off the pads. He's going to get 4 for it. Well, that's some way to come out and make the most of a single delivery. That is the end of the Turric innings. They'll finish on 129, having lost 3 wickets. And that time, I think Petrie was going for the Yorker again, just a little bit too full and a little bit too straight. And that swing, moving into the right hand, it was really well played by Michael Kelly. As Turric pushed their way towards, it's not the highest score of the series, but it's certainly up there. And tell you what, Gow's, what a performance. He came out and from the very get-go, he was willing to play his shots. Anything short, he was punishing. He forced a number of field changes, notably getting everyone, 5 players out on the leg side at one stage. He just kept finding the gaps. Some really smart batting. And just have those days, don't you, as a batsman, where everything is in your hitting zone. Avinash Pai, well, he was there for a while. Never really had to get firing, but played some beautiful shots. And I'll tell you what, Gow's, that was almost a golf shot. Just picked it up and lifted over the head of Reyes. Pai, he also carried on. Just managed to get that boundary, despite the best efforts of Robin Petrie out there in the outfield. And Latin came on. I'll tell you what, Latin is going to be key to the Bavaria fortunes if they are to try to chase this down. He also got a fair bit of treatment for around about 25 of his 2 overs. And Gow's making his way to the highest score in the inning so far. Pai eventually, he played this beautiful shot, and then Cameron Nesta, he became Superman. Avinash Pai caught napping, and a beautiful throw in came him short of the mark, so he had to go. And Gow's, well, he just kept on going as well until eventually, well, he gave that one chance. Petrie, he was everywhere in this match, but on that occasion just could not keep his hands under the ball. And Samir Nayak came out to join Gow, and he said, I want to join this party. And that is exactly what he did. He was just swaying it all over the place. That was probably the most fortunate set of runs that Turric got. Boda came in. He always makes something happen, Boda, but he did go for a fair bit. He only went for 6 in his first over, but in his second, he went for 20, 21, 22. So he won't be too happy about that. Tried coming around the wicket to Samir. That was the free hit that I missed. Tell you who didn't miss that was Crom, but realised way before I did that it wasn't legitimate because it was a free hit. Samir Nayak made the most of that opportunity. He's playing another 6, but then Gow's kept on going in his manner. Avinash there running around on the beyond the ropes, doing some fielding practice, and then Samir Nayak finally popped one up. Potter took a great catch with very safe hands, and then Petrie did a bit more damage, picking up this wicket, 2 wickets in his over the 10th, which ended up going for 11, 2 for 11. And it was looking pretty good, but then he had one ball to face. Michael Kelly came out and he did exactly what he had to. Nestled it around the corner, picked up 4, and that was the end of the Turric innings. As we have a look at the batting scorecard, it's a pretty good one. I'll tell you what, Mark Gow's, we've got a printer here, and you can come to us and print it out. 78 made, so the highest individual score by 3 runs. Ably supported by Avinash Pai in the beginning, and then of course Samir Nayak, 24 off 10. That is some great T10 hitting. That meant Turric finished on 129, losing 3 wickets in the process. Not bad bowling. Well, the bowling by Bavaria, they were bowling to really great batters. Batters in really great form. Could have a look there. So they did get some treatment. Petrie, probably the pick of them, with a 2 for 25. And also worth mentioning, Andrew Reyes, who managed to keep it under 10 runs and over for his spell. But at the end of the day, just weren't quite able to muster enough threatening deliveries to really challenge 2 batters or 3 batters in really sensational form. There's the urban development chart, and you can see there that wickets certainly make a difference to the batting side when they are setting a total. But as it is with the mid-inning summary, it's going to be up to Bavaria, and you feel that Ian Lattin is going to play a major role if they are to somehow chase this down. And so that Kenner Nesta will have to get involved as well, and we'll find out how all that goes in just a few minutes. Until then, ciao for now. And a very warm welcome back to the Europa Sports Complex here in Gibraltar, the second most southern tip of the European continent. Here we are watching Turric versus Bavaria. And we've just seen Turric put on a mammoth total, 129. It's going to leave Bavaria a big job ahead of them, and this man will be a key to it, Andrew Reyes. He's been in pretty fine form. He will be joined by Kenroy Nestor out there in the middle. And they're going to have to get going from the very beginning, one feels. I think it's certainly Bavaria on the back foot. And good to see Michael Kelly back as well. Here he is on screen. He's missed the last couple of matches, but been a very good performer with the ball when he has had it. As you can no doubt here in the effects mic, it is extremely blowy here today. It's actually the most overcast and coldest day that we've had here in Gibraltar. Still not as cold as the northern reaches of the European continent, though. That's why we've all emigrated here south like birds during the winter. And there are a nice couple of fat clouds in the sky, and just should make for a spectacular sunset, actually. And a big hello to everybody out there in the chat. Some good conversation going on there. It's going to be Kelly to Reyes. Here we go. Everybody's ready. Let's play some cricket. So short, and Reyes tries to pull it away. It just gets big on him a bit quick. And all we can do is dabble it down to short square leg for a single. So Luke Belgium asking if anyone fancies Bavaria getting this target. They're going to need a quick fire 50-run partnership by these two, I would say, just to put seeds of doubt in the Turric bowlers' minds. So Kenroy Nestor, he reckons that he's got what it takes to be able to do that while also leaving a ball, which he does. It was a good ball. Most other forms of cricket, that would be a very good leave. It was at a really good length, and just outside the off stump. Yeah, I'm really enjoying all the conversation going on in the chat. We've got a Belgian and a German talking about buying each other beers this time. Well, I might have got an edge. Just spit up at Keynes. He wanted to play square, realised it was cramping him up. And at the end of the day, all he could do is give a bit of a wispy wave of the wand at it. Kelly now. That's another great nut. Well, I'll tell you what, a couple of centimetres more to the leg side, and those bails were going flying. Nestor, we've seen that he is a bit more comfortable against the seamers. He can sometimes just get a bit befuddled with the slower bowling, but on this occasion, Kelly, he's really putting in a good shout here. Only one run off these 4 deliveries so far. Oh, that's right on the money. Looking for the Yorker, just dug out by Keynes. Dribbled away to mid-wicket, and he gets 1 run. Be pretty happy to be off the mark, I feel. Yeah, James Stewart, Luke Belgium, and Sam Nick all talking about taking each other for beers. I quite like that idea of sitting with a Belgian and a German drinking beer, talking about which country does it the best. Like chat going on there about Bruges as well, one of the most beautiful cities in Europe. Bruges used to be the wealthiest city in Europe. Now it's one of the best ones for drinking beer, as that one is dragged away on the onside and they take a run. Michael Dowd, another German chipping in. He has to believe in Bavaria. I didn't know Bavaria designated itself as part of Germany, Michael Dowd, but anyway, that first over comes to a close, only 3 runs off it. That is just the dream start. I think it's going to be Ainsworth this next over. We've got a bit of dirt bike racing going on. It is a multi-sports complex after all, I guess. Great start by Kelly. This is Ainsworth. He puts a shot, it gets the top edge, and it's flying away. It's going to fly all the way, in fact. That is gone about 3 meters over the rope off the top edge. And Reyes, that is exactly what he needs to do. Yeah, that YouTube chat is making me very thirsty, I've got to say. Why don't you jump onto it if you are listening. YouTube, European Cricket Network, that's our channel. Tell us what you think about the cricket going on here in Gibraltar, and also, of course, the European Cricket League that is starting tomorrow. Can you believe it? 6 weeks of non-stop cricketing action. So Ainsworth now to respond to that big 6. Short outside off and a big swing of the bat. Just trying to pull everything to the leg side. I think that's a bit of a trick that a few of the batters in this series have been missing. Those ones outside off, just trying to drag it to the leg side. Yeah, Michael Dow confirming that when it comes to football, it's the rest of Germany versus Bavaria. Yeah, I've spent a fair bit of time in Bavaria. I know what the Bavarian word for air conditioner is. It's beer garden. That one's full and dragged away again on the onside. And, we'll be hoping to get to Germany again this year, no doubt, with more European cricket series. Love to get to Belgium as well. Belgian national team just making such strides as we saw in the European Cricket Championship. This one's short outside off, and Keynes trying to be a little bit too cute as it sails through to the keeper for no run. Belgian cricket. And talking about tactics in T10, well, I'll tell you what, the Belgian cricket team, they've got a great tactic for this format. Here, this time Keynes gets a hold of it, but it's coming straight down. Manav Nayak, he's getting under it, and so too is Michael Kelly, but unfortunately for both of them, it just kept travelling and travelling and travelling. And in fact, it was going for so long that Avinash Pai was able to run 50 metres from behind the stumps to just stand there with the 3 of them as they watched it sail over the rope for 6. James Stewart's going to be in Frankfurt in a few days. I spent about 5 years in Frankfurt as a teenager. Frankfurt am Main, of course, and it is one of the better cities, I got to say. A lot of fun, Frankfurt. A lot of people don't give it the rap it deserves as that one's dragged away to square leg, and Nayak picks it up. Yeah, there's an area of Frankfurt called Sachsenhausen, which is not too ashamed to admit. I spent many a Friday night there as a youngster. And of course we do play a fair bit of Frankfurt MSC. In fact, they'll be involved in the European Cricket League. Very good unit. This time Reyes again trying to drag it to the onside. Probably need to play more off the back foot and to the offside. So that's another overdone. There have been 13 runs to come off that one, means that the score is 16-0. So falling well behind the mark here, and you can see with the standings, Turric, well, they're sitting on top spot with good reason. They have got a powerful batting unit, and they've got these fantastic bowling unit as well. They've got three spin bowlers who are all really consistent. But then Michael Kelly coming back into the attack, and of course Adam Orfiller as well. We haven't seen him for a couple of days, and he is the equal leading wicket taker along with Samarth Bora. 7 wickets to his name in this series so far, so we can expect to see him. Here's Kelly, he's going to bowl out. Oh, he gets an edge? No. Ooh. Well, Kenroy, he is not happy with himself. So that was there for the hitting, but I'll tell you what, Kelly, he just pushes it through. So here he comes, ball, the second ball of this over, and that one looking for the Yorker, and Keynes just digs it out and sets off for a languid single as he pushes that down to mid-on. So Mitun is wondering who will win. I'll tell you what, sure. No one is being pulled right up in the air. Ainsworth's under it, and he's going to take it as well. Yeah, he took that like a chess mark in Australian football and made sure that it wasn't going anywhere, clung onto it, and he rolls and tumbles along the ground, celebrating the first wicket to fall. Reyes, he is out of here for 9 runs. So certainly not what they needed. I tell you what, he's pretty happy about that, Sean Ainsworth. Yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy catching those high balls in the best of conditions. Certainly, as the artificial lights start to take hold, the sun is making its way slowly beyond the western horizon, and when those balls are up in the air, they are very difficult to catch. But today, as you can no doubt hear, there is that blustery, blowing breeze coming around all corners, and that would have made that a very tough catch to keep a hold of. So it's this man, Ian Lattin, the captain of Bavaria. He's come to the crease, and big job in front of him now as he whips the first one off his pads. It's a nice shot, but Manav Nayak is roaming down on the fence behind square. Just one to get off the mark. And really okayness. He seems to get in his head a little bit here. He's missed a few that he felt he should have taken full value from. And again, just attacking the stumps, and he's found the gap there at mid-wicket. He's found the rope, so that should ease his mind a little bit. Didn't quite middle it, but he's a big, powerful man. He swings the bat with great ferocity as he picks up 4 to his total. Yeah, I agree with you, William Michael Danskin. Bavaria, they're not taking advantage of stray balls, and that's absolutely the case. They don't give you much, Turric, and when they do, you have to make them pay. This time, again, just cramping him up, and Keynes managed to chop it down to Adam Orfiller at backward point. Set off for 1 more run, so this will be the final ball of Michael Kelly's spell, and hasn't it been great? 1 for 9. So MD Anna's also asking who will win. Well, what we've got on the European Cricket Network is the bat versus ball wall. You can check that out for the predictions. There's another short one, and this time Lattin takes full value. That is a superb pull shot. He has just swiveled around, just picked it off the length straight away. Beautiful hand-eye coordination he has. He's just such a compact player, and that one straight out of the middle of the bat, over the rope, 6 runs. The end of the power play, end of the 3rd over, and Kelly, he ends up with 1 for 17, so with that 6 kind of ruining his score, but 32 for 1 is the score after 3 overs. We can have a look at the comparative urban development charts, and yeah, whereas Turric, they were going from the get-go, Bavaria, they had to start with a little platform and start to build upon it, losing that 1 wicket in the process. Only 3 runs off Michael Kelly's first over, and that in this format of the game, 1 over can just make all the difference. So 98 needed off 42, and that required run rate is already at a pretty imposing level as Ainsworth comes in. He's also going to bowl out, and he attacks the stumps. Ball moving in to the right-hander as well. Some significant swing there. Kenroy Nestor able to just meet it with the inside edge of the bat and turn it around the corner for 1. that they've bowled out Kelly and Ainsworth. I imagine that we'll see. As Ainsworth comes in, he's lifted that one up. There is a third man in position. I imagine we'll see or fill up. Also third man there. That is Sebastian Maynard. He's probably my favourite cricketer because we were walking around coming to the ground and we were late, and he drove past us in his car and recognised our kit and gave us a lift. So I'm a big fan of Sebastian Maynard. He's a third man. Here's Ainsworth. Short again, and he's cut it away, and this time, well, he's not going to find the rope because there is protection there in the form of Sukhjit Singh. Sweeping on the offside. Sukhjit Singh, he's also a pretty handy bowler as well, as facing him in the nets earlier today. He can generate a fair bit of pace as that's a full toss, and he's been spanked, absolutely clobbered. Just full force, full face of the bat, all the way over the rope for 6. Ian Lattin, he's not messing around. He knows what needs to be done here if they are to get themselves out of this. So Ainsworth, 3 balls left in his over, and that's short and wide and called as such. And I've got to say, it's been really good by both teams today in terms of the wides. I don't believe that there were any that were bowled by Bavaria, which is lucky for them, considering that the runs were flowing fairly freely. That's the first one there for Turric. So good work by all bowlers involved. This time, Lattin, he has just gone whack. And what a lovely cricketer he is to watch. 6 more runs. And he's just turning this into a super over. Just knows exactly where he's standing in relation to everything. He picks up the length really quickly and just plays through the line of the ball. So 31 Sean Ainsworth goes for after his 2, and after 4 overs, Bavaria 52 for 1. So definitely improving in that last over. And you can tell us all about it, of course, on the European Cricket Network YouTube channel. Join in the live chat. Come and keep me company. Vinny Sando has left me here by myself. He's gone up to Malaga again to continue preparations there for the ECL, which is starting tomorrow. He's going to try and come down here for our finals day on Wednesday, which will be great. So on Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday, folks, you have the chance to watch 7 games of cricket here on the European Cricket Network all through the day, as Lattin picks up 6 more, and that has almost bounced up into the stadium. There we are. Ian Lattin not messing around by any measure. Just once again, just following the ball. So it started on off and just started tailing back into him, and just adjusted and holds his pose as he watches his fine work. Sure what is going on here. Yeah, so that was the end of the 4th over. So 54 for 1. That's what was going on. We were all a little bit out of sync with each other. So Ainsworth finishes with 37. He's all fill up. He's a great bowler as well, and he might pick up a wicket here. But for the fact that Keynes got a lot more on that than what it looked like, and might have caught the breeze a little bit because it sailed about 10 metres over the rope. 6 more. And that's not a great start for a filler. That looked like it went sky high, but it just kept on travelling. So he'll feel good about that. Keynes, as Orfila comes in, back to live action. He's gone again, and he's gone even bigger this time. That has gone long, flat, hard, far, all the way through the rugby goals. It's a try, and it's a 6. So This is exactly what they need. I'll tell you what, Bavaria are not out of this by any stretch of the imagination. With these two out there, if they can stay in and keep going at this rate, then they will chase this down. So Filler comes in now, 12 already off his first 2 balls, and he gets one through. And K'Ness gives an aggrieved look at the sky. Bit of a tap on the bat. So a question from Michael Dobb in the chat: have I seen any female Gibraltarian cricketers these days? It was a pretty promising women's team from Gibraltar at the Seven Nations tournament in Berlin in 2014. Back to that in a moment. As Ophelia gets this one straight and full, and veering down leg, and Kenro picks up 4 more. So this over is going big. 16 already off it. So the thing with Gibraltarian cricket that we've been able to garner, Michael, is that they've had a hiatus, 5-year hiatus of no cricket here on this little peninsula. And so up until the start of this tournament, had been no cricket of any kind played here for 5 years. And the women's team, I think, kind of, because of that, fell to the wayside. You can actually have a look on Google of images of Gibraltar, and you'll see where the cricket ground is. We're on the very, very tip. You can actually see Morocco over the other side of the Straits of Gibraltar. And if you look at any of those photos from, say, 3 or more years ago, as Orfila comes in, and this one, K'Ness, he almost loses his footing as he tries to give himself room. If you look at photos from 3 or more years ago, it's a sand pit. This entire area is just a gravelly sand pit. And we've talked to a few players here who were playing 5 or plus years ago, and they were saying that, you know, if you're in the outfield, the ball would get hit to you and it would bounce in front of you and rocks would shoot up at you. So I think as K'Ness this time drives over cover, it's not going to reach the rope though, as there's Matty Whelan, not the former Melbourne Demons forward pocket Matty Whelan, but the Turric 11 Matty Whelan. He was telling me today that he's Googled his name and learned all about Australian rules because of that. Over comes to a close. That's all. Filler goes for 17. And that means that after 5 overs, 71 for 1, they are well on track. Well on track. Bavaria, can they do this? Well, they're going to have to depend on these two staying out there. 50 partnership of 14 balls. That is some great going by these two. So yeah, like I was saying, Michael, there's been a dearth of cricket here as they kind of fell to the wayside. So I think the women's team also, that happened. So unfortunately, that has all gone back to square one. But square one is being built as we've got Samir Nayak now coming into the attack. This is a good bowling change, but he's dropped that one short. It's been pulled away, and his son, Manav Nayak, he gives a big leap trying to catch one off his dad's bowling. But he can't because he's not 10 metres tall. That one just kept going and going. So that wind seems to be pretty consistently going from left to right of screen now. It's changed a little bit again. So that's good for the right-handers. Hitting to the leg side. Here's live action again. K'Ness just plays a shorter, wider one. Deftly down to backward point. Takes one more. So what we've been told is with cricket, so this is the rebirth, the renaissance of Gibraltarian cricket that we are witnessing here, folks. And it's just punched off the back foot. He's such a compact player, Ian Latin. I really like the way he goes about it, even though he only picked up one off that. Played it really nicely. And you know, unfortunately, as it's the way of things, you know, the world we live in, the women's team is not getting the first opportunity. It's these 5 men's teams, but that's going to change shortly because I know that there is a good push by the cricket development officer here. It's Paul Agella, who's also the captain of the Calpe Giants, to really set in some good systems as Nayak manages to push one past the flailing bat of Ian Latin into the keeper's gloves. So there are programs now being instituted for kids and for women and for men, of course. So I expect to see the women's game picking up shortly as that one beats cover. It's played off the back foot and it finds the rope as well. Matty Whelan. He couldn't get there in time. And he watches it roll over the boundary. So 4 more to the Bavaria skipper. He moves to 31, I believe, 31 off 9. And that is the end of the 6 overs. So 84 for 1. They are. You can have a look there. Sean Ainsworth, he really got some treatment, didn't he? Yeah, Ian Latin on 31. Kenroy Nesta, he's raced away to 41 off 22. So yeah, we're all really excited about the prospects of Gibraltarian cricket. And also in combination, of course, with all the work being done with European cricket in general. It is the European continent, and we are absolutely stoked to be here. Here's Manav Nayak. He's going to bowl in an over after his dad. And that one just played gently away behind square for 1. Yeah, Harshall Gaming. Just saying that this leggy has been excellent. I'll tell you, Manav Nayak is a promising talent. He's a... I'll say that, I give him the old commentator's curse. It's one of only 2 wides that we've seen, so that's pretty good. Or 3 wides now. Sean Ainsworth bowled 2 of them. He is a really promising cricketer, both with the ball in the field and with the bat. And Latin, he almost gets beaten by the flight there. Just managed to get the toe of the bat to it as he gives a straight drive down the wicket, fielded by Manav. Yeah, he's just he's into everything, Manav. Well, that one full toss, pulled away, and I'll tell you what, that has gone. Oh, almost bounced into the grandstand. Have a look at the crowd that we get to accumulate. This is the coldest day. This could be the coldest day that Gibraltar's ever seen. And we've still got people coming on their Sunday afternoon. They've been out having a roast. And they've come down to watch some cricket. Yeah, really like the prospects of Manav Nayak. He's only 16 years old, and he's just seems to know, like in the field, he seems to know where to go. Reads the play really well. He's also got variation with his deliveries. He likes to toss them up. He's got a good arm ball as well. That was it. Well, it's not good enough because Ian Latton's picked it, and he has lifted it over the fence. Another 6. 31 needed off 21 now, and Bavaria, could they pull off an amazing win? If they could chase this down, that would be absolutely huge for the context of the tournament, as that comes to a close yet. They were the wide, of course, and no ball as well. That was called no ball, so I haven't missed that one. This is a free hit coming up. So if there is a spectacular catch in the outfield like last time, I'll try to contain myself. And a free hit, 99 for 1. 31 needed off 21 balls, and they get a free hit here, and it's Latin facing. Oh, and a really great ball. Wonderful bowling by Manav Nayak. He tossed it up, and he was a bit fuller. And Latin paying him due respect. How is that? 37-year-old paying good respect to the 16-year-old. Well, this time he comes down, and instead of driving, he decided to hit with, or against the spin, I should say. You're absolutely welcome, Michael, in the chat. It's been, for that explanation, it's been great to talk to all the players and participants involved and see how Gibraltarian cricket is developing. Here's Keynes, and he's lifted it up, and up, and up, and all the way over the boundary. 6 more runs. That's not quite his 50, 48 he moves through. These two going tit for tat in their pursuit of a 50. That is indeed a maximum. I'm not into cultural appropriations. I'm not going to do a Vinny Sandu impersonation, but that was full value for that shot. We can have a look at the fantasy dashboard there for the match coming up. It'll be a repeat of a doubleheader between Bavaria and Turric. Yeah, and that no ball was, just getting clarification, it was for height. So, ball too far above. So Who doesn't want to bowl another one of those? Young Manav. And it's his father now, so they're going over for over. The father-son duo. As Lattin's punched that to cover, it's been fielded. But good backing up by K-Ness. And that partnership now, 88 of 30 deliveries. That is the definition of heavy hitting. Absolute onslaught. And I'd say the old wind predictor pendulum has swung right towards Bavaria now. They don't have to do too much. At this stage, Turric were 88 for 1. So Bavaria well on top. And this completely underscores what we've seen throughout this whole tournament, that there isn't really one team that is going to dominate, as Lattin lifts that one down to long on, and it's stopped there on the boundary by Michael Kelly. Yeah, Michael Daub reckons put the Bavarian beer on cold. Well, I'm all about the T10 there, and that one, well, that has gone almost all the way back to T10. That is a big 6. Kenroy Nesta brings up his 50 in style. 52 of 17 deliveries with a big lift over mid-wicket. Huge hitting, and look at the sportsmanship there. Avinash Pai, they all know each other so well. Pretty sure you could say that about all 35,000 people that live on this pointy little peninsula with the big rock. Back to live action, and that one, well, K-Ness, he doesn't mind to leave. And I'll tell you what, he has been proven the better judge in all that, because he knows he can hit him when he has to. And this one, he gets an edge, but it's got a lot of backspin on it, and it races away from my favourite, Sebastian Maynard. Well, he picked me up in the car the other day, but he couldn't pick that one up because it went spinning away from him all the way down to the rope. 4 more to Kenroy, who's now on 56. Should be just waiting for all the technology to update. So we can have a look at the end of that over. So have a look where the comparison was, and that is just proof in the pudding, really. If you can have 2 players that just go heavy together, both of these have gone at a remarkable clip. 59 cameras on, it's Lattin facing now. Manav Nayak to bowl out, and he's been splayed away to deep cover for 1. So, and well pointed out, Luke Belgium. Always love your work, Luke, because you're all over these ones. 100 partnership in just 33 balls, and I believe that's the first 100 partnership we've seen in this series. I'll get confirmation of that. So that's a shorter, quicker one that's been punched off the back foot for a single. So Harshal Gaming is asking in the chat, what time's the next game? It'll be about 15 minutes after this one ends. Gets his salsa feet moving, a bit of Lattin dancing down the track, and drags it away for another one. That's all they have to do. Only 8 needed off 9 balls now. So this is in the bag for Bavaria. So yeah, just under 40 minutes until the next game, as Kenroy, well, he might find the rope, but for the fact that Sean Ainsworth is roaming around there. Great hit by Nessa, and so we saw Gowes go big in the last one, and he was helped by 2 other players. But in this Bavaria innings, Lattin and Nesta, as Lattin drives that powerfully, stopped at cover, but it does get through. It allows him to take a single. Mark Gowes doing the fielding there and backing up his own work as well. Wide, but Kenroy, he's got the arms to get it, and he's hit a 4. I believe it's 4, 1 bounce over. So that was the last ball of the innings, and just waiting for confirmation there. So I think it's been called 6. Yeah, it's 6. So that's all they needed. 6 runs off 7 balls. They don't need that other over. Give themselves an extra break. because Kenroy's lifted one from way outside off. Would have been called wide if he'd left it, but he's got the reach, and he's got the strength, and he's got the power, and he's got the wily ways to find it over the rope and bring home a big victory for Bavaria. They beat Turric by 9 wickets. Can you believe it? Well, I don't think any of us predicted that. That is a wonderful display of the spread and breadth and depth of Gibraltarian cricket across all teams. Wonderful victory for Bavaria as we have a look at some of the highlights. Well, Andrew Reyes came out and he knew that he had to start going big and didn't look that convincing with those kind of shots. But Kenroy, yeah, he left a couple. That one, I thought it was going to be caught. It went so high in the air, but it just kept traveling and traveling. It ended up going over the rope, and that seemed to settle him down a little bit. Reyes, he knew he had to join in the party, but that time he just managed to sky one with a really good catch by Sean Ainsworth there at square leg, getting the hugs from his skipper and wicketkeeper Avinash Pai. Michael Kelly, he bowled really well in his first over, only going for 3 off that first one, but in his second, he did have to come up against Ian Lattin. So a 4 and a 6 were hit off his second over. Then Ainsworth, well, I'm afraid Ainsworth got the treatment. 3 sixes off his first over, plus a wide, and 3 others. So he is 24 runs off that one over. 22 runs, excuse me. I'm not very good at maths. That's Vinny's work. And unfortunately, that was, where Bavaria really started to hit their straps. It was these two right up until the very end. And Ian Lattin once again putting in a masterful display of batting for his team. As he and Kenroy just continued going about the heavy hitting. Adam Orfilla, he also came on, got the treatment. 2 sixes and a 4 hit off his first over. And this being one of them, that was probably the biggest shot of the day. And unfortunately, it wasn't the end of it because he let one veer down the leg side, and Kenroy, well, he ate that one up for breakfast. Amir Nayak came on. He is a very clever bowler, but first ball got hit for 6. And he managed to keep it pretty tight. 3 singles and a dot before Lattin, excuse me, managed to find the rope on the last ball of that over as well. It was then the Nayak show. It was up to father and son to bowl out and try to contain this Bavaria unit. Manav always a threat, but unfortunately letting that one loose. And Ian Lattin, well, he is never going to let those go. As he managed to find the rope with ease. In fact, get it over the rope. And Kenroy, he just got better and better and better. You can see the absolute, or the standing ovation that he would get from his teammates there with each and every shot. Again, Samir tried to mix it up a little bit. There's Sebastian Maynard, unable to recollect that one. And, that was pretty much the game, because by the end of it, they only needed 6 off 7, and the very last ball was hit for 6. So that is the end of first match. I'm a little bit flabbergasted by what we've just seen. Bavaria chasing down 130 with relative ease, 1 over remaining. So they only needed the 9, and they pick up another victory to certainly put the onus on Turric. If they want to hold on to top spot, they will need to change it up in the next match and come home with a big W. As we have a look at the batting scorecard, wonderful one for Kenroy Nessa and for Ian Lattin, making his 3rd score in the 40s in this tournament, and certainly putting his hand up for player of the tournament. In terms of the bowling scorecard, well, I don't think anyone will want to look at that for too long. Michael Kelly, I think definitely the pick of the bowlers, and it's not written on that card that he only went for 3 in his first over. So unfortunately for him, it didn't get better from there. That is it, folks. We like I said, a little bit blown away by what we've seen, but I can't wait to see what is dished up next between these two fine cricketing outfits. We'll be back with all that action in around about, I think it'll be around about 20 minutes. So stay tuned, and we'll be back here at the Europa Sports Complex. I'm Joe Wegasani, and I'll see you on the other side of this break. Until then, ciao for now. Hello everybody, and welcome back to the second most southerly tip of the European continent here in Gibraltar, where we have match 16 coming up. We're at night 8 of our series here, and we have just seen probably the most remarkable match of the series so far. It's Turric versus Bavaria, and Turric put on a mammoth total. 130 Bavaria were chasing, and they chased it down with 1 over to go, taking the honours and the points. And that means for our standings, look, Turric still sit on top of the table with 10 points, but Bavaria are closing in 8 points now, and they have overtaken Turric in the net run rate. What that means, if Bavaria can pull off another win here, they will finish tonight on top of the table. And Turric will know that the Calpe Giants are coming for them as well. So it is all happening at the pointy end. It's going to be Michael Kelly bowling to Andrew Reyes. Kenroy Nesta, after his match-winning performance there, he's back out on the pitch. He'll be feeling good about himself. We had such an array of runs in that match that at the start of tonight, well, I'll get back to that as Michael Kelly. Yeah, I wasn't ready either. Thank you, umpire. At the start of tonight, Lorne Burns for the Calpe Giants was the leading run scorer. And he's been overtaken now by 5 different players. Andrew Reyes, Avinash Pai, Mark Gowes, Cameron Nesta, and Ian Lattin, who now sits on top. You can have a look there at the bat versus ball wall and the predicted score. Our cricket bot, supercomputer, has Bavaria making 92 and Turric making 109. Let us know what you think about all that, especially on the European Cricket Network YouTube channel. Big hello to everybody out there. So umpire looks like he's just asking everyone, do you want to play some cricket? And they're saying yes, let's play some cricket. First ball, and it's a good one from Michael Kelly, and it's out. It's been given out. Andrew Reyes cannot believe it. Well, that one seemed to be tailing away, and it cut back in just short of a length. And Andrew Reyes, he puts up the straight face of the bat. Let's have another look at this. We'll slow it down. Ooh, hard to tell on that, but the umpire, he seemed to have little doubt. We'll slow this one down as well. You can see how a deviation might have occurred there. And that's the end of Andrew Reyes. So he has been sitting, since the last match, sitting at number 5 of the run scorers in this series. And he had 142 runs, and that's what he's going to remain on, because he's gone out for a golden duck for the big opener, Bavaria. And that means that these two are united, and look, this might strike fear into the hearts of Turric, because reunited at the crease are the match-winning partners, Kenroy Nessa and skipper Ian Lattin, facing up to Michael Kelly. He's got 1 wicket for nothing. And it's a good ball again, but just on the front foot, played away on the offside, where Mark Gowes is roaming at a very sort of quite a short regulation mid-off, really. So we'll have a look at the field here. We've got a deep square leg and kind of deep mid-wicket in the form of Manav Nayak. Kelly in now. Oh, and Kenroy, it's like he never had a break, and he's just kept on going, because that is 1 bounce over the rope for 4. Good shot by Kenroy. He's got his eye in, and he probably went and had a little bit of dinner and just watch the replays of his shots. That'll have him feeling good. Yeah, we had a little bit of a break. We all got a bit of a feed. Big thank you to Tim Azaparties as well here at the Europa Sports Complex. He's been taking care of all of us. Really appreciate that. Here's Kelly now. Oh, and it's another good nut. That is the ball that got rid of Reyes on this occasion. And Kenroy survives without enticing the edge. Yeah, big gap between bat and ball there, as you can see. Yeah, so a few people in the chat thinking that was a bit unlucky for Reyes. Whether that edge was there, umpire seems fairly convinced. Anyway, it's Nesta on strike and down leg side, and called as such by the umpire, who spreads out his arms and says, "This is how much I love cricket." So Ian Latin now has become the top run scorer with that 49 not out that he just made. It's 3 scores in the 40s for him now. He's sitting there on 186. Kenroy, so the number 1 and 2 leading run scorers in the tournament are out there at the moment. Kenroy's got 179 for the series with that performance of 67 not out. Here's Kelly, short, and tries to lay it away on the offside. Just played a little bit too straight to it. In the chat, still lots of conversation going on as people sit down wherever you are around the world, sitting down and getting into some fine cricketing action here in Gibraltar. Big hello to Kitty Hunley as well, who's always a pleasure to have in the chat. And that one almost cuts Nestor in half, but he does manage to get just a bit of an inside edge to it, and it trickles it down to fine leg for a single. So after 1, Kelly's got 1 for 7, and that is also the score, 7 for 1. So everyone's comparing what you're drinking. And Luke Belgium's got a glass of milk. That is very Dutch of you, Luke. And I know you're a Belgian, so no offense intended in that. I can tell you all that I've got a nice warm cup of pumpkin soup, which Tim Azapartes has left with me, keeping me warm on this cold and blustery evening. His gals now, and that one is a rank ball down leg side, which even the leaping Avinash Pai could not get a glove to, so they run through for another wide. Sam Nick, he's on the Crombucker. It's a great drop, that one as well. I'm so lucky, those of us living in Europe, to have full access to all the lovely. Oh, lifted off the pads. Oh, that was almost going down for a wide, but he somehow just managed to clear his leg and get bat to ball, lifted over the fence. 6 runs to Latin. If they can do anything like what they did in the last match, then Turric is going to be well up against it. They've made 2 changes. Turric, Matty Will and Adam Orfilla are out of the side, replaced by Harshdeep Singh and Amit Malhotra. Beautiful shot, that one. Yeah, it's one of the spectacular things about Europe, that there's just this array of different cultures with all the lovely food and beverages available to us. He's Gow's into Latin, and he uses the fact that there's only 2 fielders on the outfield. None of them are in the offside. He lifts that over cover all the way to the boundary for 4. Lovely, lovely shot. He's just such a presence out there in the middle in Latin. He just doesn't seem too fussed by much. Very compact player as well. Seems very technically proficient. And he plays on all sides of the ground. And that one, he just plays it a bit later. Dribbles it down to point. And I'm sure you can hear in the effects mic, if you're just joining us, it is the breeziest, blowiest and coldest night we've had in Gibraltar. So if you're getting some choppy sounds that make it seem like I'm under attack from machine guns, don't worry, it's just the wind. And this time Kenroy uses his long reach. He gets a big top edge. This fielder coming on, should take it, but he's dropped it. Oh no, it's gone through the hands. My favourite, Sebastian Maynard. Tough chance of that one. This kind of breeze went really high in the air, and those floodlights, they can get in your eyes. And it's not an easy position to be fielding out either, third man. You've always got to be ready. And sometimes you can go a whole innings without anything coming to you. So you'll be disappointed with that. Chance goes begging. And this time a fuller ball that's driven beautifully on the onside by Latin. A good sliding save with a bit of help between long on and long off. So that was a bit of a, it's almost like a soccer tackle. Soccer, of course, I do mean what everyone else calls football, and I can't bring myself to quite call. That's another matter. Here we are back at the cricket. Mark Gow's in now, and he's got a leading edge. This is the chance, and Seb Maynard, oh, his second chance goes begging. That was the tougher of the two. He got into a good spot, got his hands up to it, but it was spinning. It was a big leading edge. Great to see in the chat. Yeah, tough chance, and so they'll be ruining those missed opportunities. That's the first over come to a close. 17 off it, or the second over, excuse me. 17 off it, and the score is 24-1. So you can see there that Bavaria are closing in. They have timed their run. They suffered a few defeats at the start of the a couple of defeats at the start of the series, and then the other night, of course, going down in that golden ball situation against Calpe Giants. And now they are in prime position to knock Turric off their perch. It's going to be Michael Kelly now to come back into the attack. It's wide, and he's just used the full force of the bat and got a hold of that, and he's going one bounce, not all the way though, as it had a lot of backspin on it. He really went reaching for it, just plugged up there, and they take 2 more runs. Yeah, and big hello to Kitty Hunley's daughters. She is trying to get them into cricket, so a warm welcome to you, and we hope you enjoy our lovely game here at the tip of Europe as Kelly pushes one in towards the stumps looking for the Yorker, and very unusually Latin unable to get any bat to it. And of course Ryan Liat, big hello to you. Just wondering how many runs. Well, I'll tell you what, they knocked off 130 in a short order, Bavaria, quite unexpectedly, against probably what was the form team in Turric. Short and outside off and lifted up over point. That is a glorious shot. He has just lifted that off his toes. Oh, up on his toes. Full power right out of the middle, and that has gone 1, 2, 3, 4 bounces over the rope. 4 runs. It'll be interesting to see what Turric do to respond to this. Here's Kelly now, and that is short again. He's tried to pull it, but he's got a big top edge. It's a chance, and it's been taken. Kelly's taking the catch. Well, they wanted that one. The big wicket has fallen in the form of Latin, trying to pull one too many, and that just got big. And that's the thing about Kelly. He does push them through and can get on you a little bit quicker than you expect. And so many of those we've just seen Latin depositing over the fence. But on that occasion, just got high on the bat, went right up in the air, and Michael Kelly executes a very, very nice catch. And that is, I agree with you, Chrome 111. Make sure you catch it off your own bowling. Well, Kelly certainly made sure of that. And what that means is that it's going to be Robin Petrie wandering out to the middle to join Kenroy Nesta. So going at a good clip, but 2 wickets down, which is double the amount of wickets that they lost in the previous match. Cheryl Crabb asking if the camera is focused. It is. What you might be saying is there's a bit of a mist as that one is lifted away by Petrie for the first one down to mid-wicket. He'll take a single. There he is. So it's very blowy, and there's this mist. He's streaming through. And of course, here on the southern tip of the European continent, to the left of screen is the Mediterranean. To the top of screen is the Straits of Gibraltar. And to the right of screen is more of Spain. So this one's short outside off, and Kenroy went to play it, decided against it. And we've seen how he can do that. So Kelly finishes his spell. Pretty good one in the end, 2 for 14, which means that after 3 overs, Bavaria are 31 for the loss of 2 wickets. Look there at the urban development chart, and well, the community decided to build a skyscraper in the middle, and then decided to go back to just having the mud huts. So good second over, but I think honours are about even at the moment. Although you'd have to say with Latin going, that is a boon for Bavaria. Oh, for Turric, excuse me. Yeah, great work. Luke Belgium, Kelly, he now has 7 wickets of his own, making him joint equal leading wicket taker in the tournament, along with Adam Orfila and Samarth Boda, both of whom well, not playing in this match. Orfila, that's wide, by the way. Orfila has been arrested for this match, and Samarth Boda is playing for Bavaria. See, there's a serious feeling to this match as Gals comes in, and that's an edge from Petri, the dish, but he manages to dish up a 4 with it, beating third man. It was Samir Nayak running across there. He's replaced Seb Maynard after those 2 catches have gone down. It's never a great feeling when you're in the field and let 2 of them go, and then the captain shuffles you around. That's all part of cricket. So Robin Petrie facing again, and this one he tries to drive, but just that front leg not quite getting to the pitch of the ball. So Mark Gow is able to push one past the bat, and a very important dot ball. Again, that's it's been called a wide. Yeah, been very good, the umpires. Let's have a look at this. As it goes past the batter, it's got to be, yeah, just on that blue line. So the line belongs to the umpire. You see there's a bit of ball over that blue line as it passes the batter, and it will be called a wide more often than not. That time just keeping it in the channel. He looks at the umpire, and the umpire says, okay, I'll give you that one. I saw a little bit of green between the bat and the blue, or the ball and the blue. So that's another important dot ball, and that's the opportunity they have with Latin gone. Petrie's out there. We know he can play, but just taking a little bit to get into the flow of things. Well, this time he just opens himself up, tries to splay it away on the leg side, and unfortunately misses it. So probably just needs a little bit of a word from Kenroy. Just don't worry too much about trying to play everything on the leg side. You can also play 360 degrees all around the wicket. That's a slow ball, and very unlucky not to get a wicket there, because that fully deceived Robin Petrie in the flight. Took a lot of pace off it and just played all around it. But we've seen this pitch is quite bouncy. And just, even though it was a foolish, it just went past the offside, off stump. So that movement away, counting against Gowes on that occasion. And that should be called a wide, because it was. There is definitely a feeling of intensity around the ground at the moment. We've got the spectators, and there's a bit of a hush as we wait to see what this game has in store for us. That's that good channel again. Tell you what, Petrie is going to need a little bit of a word from Nesta after his 2 overs. Gowes goes for 24. Good little last half of an over there with a few dot balls. And that means after 4 overs, Bavaria 38 for the loss of 2. We can have a look at our bat versus ball wall, the prediction generator. We've got a supercomputer called CricBot in the ECN laboratories, calculating that Turric will put on 109 and Bavaria at 92. Let us know what you think about that in our YouTube chat, European Cricket Network. Join the family. 260,000 subscribers in that chat, and they are certainly active participants. pretty good over that one from Gowsy in the end. He did go for the 4. He bowled 3 wides, but everything else was a dot. And so I think that's something to hang his hat on. Samir Nayak now into the attack. And he gets it right straight away, but well played by Kenroy. He saw that third man was up and not that fine. And he managed to find the gap and find the rope for 4 runs. The crowd's, the hush has evaporated to be replaced by an English football chant. Here comes Nayak now. That one just using that left arm angle, causing some confusion in the mind of Kenroy Nessa, who wasn't sure whether to go back or stay forward. This time he goes for the big drive, which is probably the right shot, but Kenroy just unable to meet that with the full face of the bat, so no run added. And Nayak pushing through his over really quickly here. This time Kenroy comes down to meet it on the full and slaps it straight down the field, splitting long on and long off and finding the rope for 4 more runs. That's pretty standard Kenroy stuff. They're just checking the ball because he hit it so hard. Just want to make sure it's not got a flat part to it. And that time again, Nayak just using that angle to create doubt. You can angle it into the stumps or push it a little bit wider. That third man is up, and there's a backward point as well. So looking for the catch. Hoping Kenroy just doesn't quite meet one fully and gets an edge to either of those 2 fielders. This time Kenroy moves across outside the off stump, but he lets that one go. Full respect. So Samir Nayak, he finishes his over with 9 runs coming off it, and after 5 overs, halfway through, Bavaria, well, a bit more subdued this time. They have 47 for the loss of 2. So we have a look at the batting scorecard. Yeah, it is truly one of the most remarkable places that any of us have been here in Gibraltar. I really do recommend anyone who is in this part of the world, take the time to come down here. You go through a borderline, show your passport, because of course with Brexit caused a few issues there. There used to be an open border, but now you just got to flash your passport, depending where your passport's from, of course, and you come across and you enter this whole other realm. I'll tell you what, Manav Nayak now into the attack, and it's a wonderfully strange place. You can walk through the town of Gibraltar and you could be in any English town, but for the fact that it's sunny. Manav Nayak now, and it's another good ball. Oh, it's been called a wide. You can't believe it, but you take one thing, Manav, the best thing to do in cricket is to take some and leave some. So that pushes through another one. That's not a wide this time. Yeah, take the good with the bad in cricket. Sometimes you get called and sometimes you don't, and it's all a big karmic circle of cricketing justice. Good over so far though. Will be a wide again. Oh, umpire, yeah, he's called it. So a little bit out, just had to have a little think of it. I think it was a good call because it was over the blue line. And this time, Petrie goes whack, but it's gone straight up in the air. And Mog Kelly's coming to run under it, but he unfortunately runs over it. And does pretty well to have it back in, but it's got to go for overthrows. It buzzes. That just was hurled back at the non-striker's end, and unfortunately Manav couldn't get a hand to it, and they took the opportunity to run one more through. Or did they? No, they didn't cross over again, so we're going to take it. It means Kenroy is back on the strike. Yeah, and he could have left that for a wide, but instead he's lifted it up over the head of backward point once, twice, a trickle and a dribble. Over the rope, 4 runs. Yeah, and I agree with you, Luke. I think Petrie's got to do exactly what Avinash Pai was doing in the Turric innings in the last match. Got a big hitter at the other end in Kenroy Nesta, and Petrie just has to just poke it around and just mix the strike up as Kenroy waits upon that one and paddles it down to long on. So 10 off this over, one delivery left in it. Here comes Manav. That time he bit of a fuller ball outside off, and Petrie does pretty well to chop it down. There is a bit of gap. They come back for a second. Could be a run out, but this throw was astray. So they managed to get back, and Avinash Pai just explaining to his fielder, I cannot knock the bails off if I'm 3 meters away from the stumps. That's the end of Manav's first over. He goes for 12, and after 6, Bavaria are 59 for 2. Yeah, and just good questions in the chat. The ECL is starting tomorrow, folks. We'll have a little bit of a graphic come up about that in a moment. But the first game will be at 9 o'clock Central European time. So, depending where you are, just recalibrate your clock to that. 9 o'clock Central European, 8 o'clock GMT. So it is Samir Nayak to take over from his son again. And that time Kenroy just gets a bit of an inside edge, a bit of a streaky on drive, but he gets one more run. Short this time, and Petrie tries to cut it away, but it followed him. Kenroy, well, he's had a big day, Kenroy Nesta, so he's just having a brief lie down. And this time, well, lucky for Samir. Petrie got a little bit of bat onto that by the looks of things, and they run through for one. Bit of confusion, but they managed to stay safe at home. So good over so far, only the 2 from it. This one is a good ball. He gave it a little bit of extra flight, took a bit of pace off it, and we know that Kenroy, he likes it when they come in hard and fast, and just unable to calculate the speed going through and get bat to ball. And much the same again. He's stepping back to the leg side, and he's got a big long reach, Kenroy Nesta, but he did well to just let that one go. He knows he can punish the other bowlers to make up for dot balls here, and he's going to do the same again. And that is the end of Samir's over. That was a great one. Only 2 runs off it. So that is pretty big in the context of the game. And after 7 overs, score is 61 for 2. Yeah, we can have a look at that. So it's all starting tomorrow. Group A. And we've got Tunbridge Wells taking on Svanholm. As it's been pointed out, probably the most dominant team in Danish cricket for the last few decades. So that's a great opening fixture. Got 5 matches on tomorrow, and Group A will be all next week. Then there'll be a team going into the final week, and then it all continues on for 6 whole weeks as Manav bowls a wide first up. And this time Petrie tries to open himself up and can't get more than a bit of an edgy, streaky pull shot away. Yeah, there's going to be such a great quantity of cricket coming up over the next 6 weeks, folks. All here on the European Cricket Network as Kenroy overplays one. Does a little bit of a jig to get his foot back behind the line. That was pretty athletic. That's pretty nice work by Avinash Pai as well behind the stumps. Unable to affect a stumping, but well taken, as was that. Kenroy, he's being troubled by that line wide of the off stump. And that's some good bowling by Manav as well. He's following on from his father's work. I think he'll tempt Kenroy to come down the pitch to him here. Yeah, that's what Kenroy does. And he succeeds because he's got a hold of it. Well, that has gone absolutely miles. That has gone and implanted itself in the rock of Gibraltar. It's not the only monolith out there at the moment because Kenroy Nessa is standing tall. And a big thank you to Kitty Hunley in the chat. She's enjoying my solo commentary. Yeah, I had to go eat a dictionary to make up for the amount of words lacking in the absence of Vinny Sandu, but it's I'm very honoured with the trust given to me as Nesta pokes one out and runs a quick single as it trickles away behind point. So Petrie's just got to not get bogged down here. He's on 12 or 14. He just has to turn the strike over. He goes whack, but it's up-ish, and Michael Kelly's coming around. He's not going to get to it in time, though. And, well, that's one way of turning the strike over, although he will keep the strike because that's the end of the over. And it is after 8, 71 for 2 with 9 runs, 10 runs coming off that. So a big 6 and 3 singles and a wide, yep. So we can have a look there as the worm starts to make its way up into the foothills. And it's been pretty consistent. They're not going by any stretch of the imagination at the rate that they were in the last match with Latin out there with Nesta. But they do have 2 overs left to try to push up towards that 100 run mark. It's going to be tough. Getting some good praise there in the chat. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much, everyone. I'm loving the fact that you're there watching cricket with your daughters, Kitty. It's a great game, and so many opportunities for young female cricketers around the world now, as that one's short and it's been flat pulled all the way down to long off for a single. Yeah, it's a real moment in time where cricket is developing all around the world. One of the best things that happened in female cricket, in my opinion, is that the Brazilian sports ministry had a budget to pay one team professionally. Here's Singh, Sukhjit Singh is coming to the attack. I was facing him earlier in the nets, and he's a wily bowler. Certainly pretty consistent with his line. I'll get back to my little Brazilian cricketing story in a moment as Sukhjit comes in and short this time. It's a good line, but just also got big. He generates a lot more pace than what you think with his pretty short run up. So the Brazilian sports ministry had a budget to professionalize one cricket team, the men's or the women's, and they made a really great decision, and they decided to give contracts to the women's cricket team as Sukhjit comes in. And that's been whacked down to long on. Won't get full value, but it certainly came off the bat very powerfully. Petrie seems to have his eye in, and there's a good partnership developing, not quite at the rate they would want, but 43 off 35. Certainly got the chance while they're still out there. There's 8 balls left. As Kenroy messes with the head of Sukhjit Singh and does it pretty well. Picks up a cheeky wide. I think that's Kenroy wandering across to the off and just playing with the mind of the bowler. Yeah, so the Brazilian women's cricket team is now professional, and as such they're getting the resources put into them, and they're starting to dominate South American cricket, which is really great. And Kenroy's hit that back to Sukhjit, who could not quite cling on. And a great diving effort to try to affect the run out as well. A few mind games going on here at the moment. And then of course, in terms of the North American continent, well, part of the World Cup in a few years, there's going to be a few games played in the US. So and in Central America and Canada. So it's great to see this great game as Kenroy plays a nice late cut, just using the balance and the pace and just opening up the blade and letting it run off down to the rope for 4 more runs. So it's a pretty good over by Sukyut up until that point. Not too bad. There are 7 that have come off it. Or 8, excuse me. So his over comes to a close, and that means that Bavaria on 79 for 2. 1 over remaining in their innings. There's just really loving the growth of the game, and a lot of us grew up with cricket with the longer format being the much vaunted kind of exalted format, and it's taken a while for the shorter game to be embraced fully. But I've got to say, with T10, ECN T10, it just gives such an opportunity for people to get involved in the game without having to spend a week of their life watching is one of them. So that one's been pulled away. It's not going to make it to Gals out there at deep mid wicket. Sam Nick asking if I play cricket myself. I do play cricket. I live in the Netherlands and picked up the game again after about a 5-year or 7-year break last year. I used to find myself in Gibraltar. Comes on now. That's been whipped away. It won't beat Kelly. He's a good fielder, and he read that off at the bat. Having a bit of a lie down himself. But I managed to find myself on the list for one of the Dutch clubs, Dosti, it's called, which is a great group of lads. Can't wait for that season to get started as Malhotra comes in to Petrie, and that has been, well, it's beaten him all ends up, but it's also beaten Avinash Pai behind the stumps, so they run through for a bye. And another comment by Sam Nick that in quite a lot of there's not a lot of fielding training taking place with a lot of European club cricket teams. Malhotra is going to have to not bowl that one again, because Kenroy went searching, and well, he managed to trick a wide out of Sukyut Singh earlier. The man on screen is now. Well, that time he's given it back, because that would have been a wide. Sam asking if I would play or commentate if my team was playing here. Well, it depends if I was selected, really, as that one gets the top edge. I love to play. I haven't played T10 myself. I had that big hiatus for about 7 years of not playing any cricket, and when I came back to it, it was remarkable. When I played cricket, you'd be in the nets and you'd be facing your last 6 balls, and the coach would be watching, and you'd be saying, just don't go out, just show a solid defence as Malhotra comes in. And that one, well, Petrie has tried to whack that away, but Mark Gales once again will prevent any more than just a single, and that's the end of the innings. So they run through. It's pretty good running, and after 10 overs, Bavaria, they put on 85 for 2, which is a good 50 runs shorter. About 45 runs shorter than what they put on in the last match of 9, so that can show you the benefits of getting Ian Lattin out early. Kenroy and Esther only able to accumulate 28 of 24, while Robin Petrie was there for 18 of his 20, and that's pretty much the way I would play T10 cricket, because I am more attuned to trying to not go out than to make runs. So be interesting to see how I'd go in this format. But anyway, it's not about me, it's about these guys as we watch the highlights. And well, it was Turric from the get-go with the very first ball. Andrew Reyes goes out for a golden duck with a very fine edge through to the keeper. Kenroy Nesta, he kept going the way that he left off in the last match, managing to lift Kelly over his head, and he almost gave away his wicket himself. And Gals came on, he bowled it pretty tight. Ian Lattin looked like he wanted to keep on going. That would have been his 50 if it had been happened in the last match. But as it was all starting again. So he looked in fine fettle, managed to push his way towards, let's try to see what that was, push his way towards 20 odd, but in the end of the day he ended up scoring one, and Michael Kelly taking a very good return catch off his own bowling. Those are not easy to take high in the air, and then out came Robin Petrie, and he was there at the crease with Nesta for the rest of the innings, but they were just never able to quite get going. Certainly not the fireworks that we saw in the previous match, despite all best efforts. And Ian Letton made 21, I should point out, so he is still the highest run scorer in this tournament. And Nesta just showing that he's got a fair bit of class. I thought he often struggles outside the off stump, and sometimes also against spin. He would have been a run out that very last delivery, so managed to sneak one extra, but in the end, pretty good day for Kenroy Nesta. He's managed to end on 34, as we can see there, 34 of 29, and yeah, not too bad in terms of not giving their wickets away, but just not able to fire the way they were in the previous match with Latin going for 21. So that is the end of the Bavaria innings, and we'll see how Turric go about trying to chase it down after a short break. Have a quick look at the bowling scorecard there. It's a very good work. Samir Nayak, he's always very, very hard to get away. Just a clever bowler. He was just putting it at that same length, outside off, and really trying to force the batters into playing their shots. Michael Kelly taking 2 more wickets, and as we mentioned, that puts him as a joint equal top wicket taker in this series. And you can see there what a difference an over can make. And that was the over of Samir Nayak that only went for 2. And certainly basically saving his team probably 10 extra runs. So Turric are going to need 86 to pull off a victory and hold on to top spot in the standings for this FanCode T10 ECS series in Gibraltar. We'll be back with all that action and more after this short break. Join us then, and until then, ciao for now. And a very warm welcome back to the Europa Sports Complex. I'm Joe Wegasani, and we're here for the final innings of tonight's play, night 8 of our FanCode T10 series here in Gibraltar. And we've just seen Bavaria coming up possibly a little bit short. As they, well, we'll have to find out whether it is short. They ended up with 85 off their 10 overs. And one would feel that Turric should be in a position to be able to chase it down. But don't forget, Turric, they were up against it. I'll get back to that in a moment. Petra come in to bowl the first ball. And that one moving away. Avinash Pai down the pitch, and they asking the question. But I feel there was nothing in there. It was just pure movement away. So if you cast your mind back to match 11, one of those golden ball, 2 golden balls we had in a row, the second of them, it was the Sloggers put on 78, and Turric were not able to overcome it. So there is a precedent set, as this is another wider one outside off that Avinash Pago is chasing. The umpire has a think and says that is a wide. So it's not all a fait accompli. I welcome everyone back, especially in the YouTube chat. Jump on there and say hello. Love to hear from you. Sam Nick just went out a little shadow bat in the innings break. Me too, Sam. Just having a little bit of a pretending I was out there in the middle as Petri comes in, and this one close to the stumps. Pye just dabs it down on the offside and takes a single. You can no doubt hear that the wind has not abated. Is still pretty blowy and certainly cold. It's the coldest night that we've had. So you've got to feel for the fielders out there. Good thing it's only 10 overs. So let us know what you think. Salman Entertainment, he says, please Bavaria defend this. Well, they're going to need to get rid of, I mean, if Gals and Pye stay out there, and they'll chase this down in short order. But if they can get to that middle order, as Gals tries to lift this one into the stratosphere, goes past the bat into the keeper's gloves, dot ball. Rayhan Liat is also wanting them to defend, so big Bavaria fans there. And look, I wouldn't put it past them. They do have some firepower, Petri being one of them. Well, that one is drivable, and it has been, but only as far as that man there, which is Aaron Barnett. So a new player for Bavaria who's joined the squad this evening, joined the team. Still just 3 runs off this over, 2 deliveries left. Oh, and that's a good ball, too high to be a shout. Possibly just got a bit of bat onto it. Yeah, I think that was called for a run. You can see there just the camaraderie and spirit as Petri seems to have done something to his neck muscle. Well, I can tell you, Robin, that only gets worse as you get older. And he is going to front up again, coming down, last ball of the over. And that one cutting back into Gals, who takes a big hoist at it and manages to find the gap behind square leg and the boundary. 4 runs to end the over. Which means that there are 8 that have come off it. So 8 for none is the score after 1. And that is just under 10% of all they need, with the caveat that my maths is not great. So they need to go at about 8.5 and over, which is certainly not beyond these 2 out there. And, no big surprises here that Andrew Reyes comes in to bowl the second over. The right arm spinner. And there seems to be a steely glint in the eye of the Turric captain, Avinash Pai. Just having a look around him. deep mid wicket is out, and so is long on for the second over. Just floats this one up, and Pye comes down to meet it, and a good diving save. The sort of wide mid on. So once again a fuller ball met on the full, and could be a run out chance. Cows manages to get home in time. And they look like they could be just going about it in a pretty sedate way here. They don't have to do too much. 10 runs and over is not that huge for T10 cricket. That one comes back. It's the wrong one. And he manages to get some bat to it. And he's found the rope as well. It's a good shot in the end. Let's have a look at this. We'll just slow it down. That one, yeah, played really nicely late on the back foot and through the gap. There is a fielder at just backward a point, and third man is inside the ring. That's the gap that he's going for. Comes down this time and just straight face of the bat back to the bowler. Big hello to Egan Stephen Dantis in the chat. Come on, Gals and Avi, he says. Oh, they're going pretty well. And Mark Gals, he should be feeling pretty good, having racked up that big score of 79. Oh, and that one, I think they've got an edge. Bizaglo is certain. He's asking the question, pleading with the umpire, but the umpire says no. That is not out. Yeah, 78 Gals made in the last match. 78 not out. Highest score of the innings so far. Oh, I'm not sure what they heard there, because the bat was played well on the body and well taken by Bizaglo. He has been sensational behind the stumps for this whole series, and that time, well, commentator's curse as it sails past his outstretched hands and rolls down to the boundary for 4 byes. Yeah, just really spat off the deck, that one. They need to save all the runs they can get if they are to defend this, and that is the end of the second over. Have a look there at the standings, with Turric trying to hold off Bavaria's onslaught. They did pretty well, so it's 18 for none after 2 overs. Going at a pretty sedate 9 runs and over, which is all they need to do, really. Sam Nick reckons get a slip in. I was thinking that myself, Sam, especially against raised bowling. This one's short from Petrie, and beautiful pull shot through mid wicket, through the gap, all the way to the rope. 4 more runs. Yeah, that's a nice. That's Gal's strength, really. Anything short, anywhere towards the leg side, even from the offside, he'll just pull it away. And showing that when he can get going, he really can play shots to every ball. Of course, you can have a look at all the details of those balls on our website, europeancricket.com. As Petrie comes in, slower ball this time, and been well read by Gals, who's played a nice on drive over the infield, found the boundary again. So consecutive boundaries now. In fact, that's 3 boundaries in a row for Turric, because there was a 4 off the last delivery of Ray's over. Just want to echo the comment in the chat. Luke, you are doing a great job. I really appreciate Luke Belgium's work in the chat. He's basically our ECN statistician. There's that one wide outside off, full of ball, and is taking the toe of the bat and beaten third man and found the fence. So that is 4 boundaries in a row. I'll tell you what, they might just want to be getting home early. The way they're going, it is cold and blustery, so Might be looking to just finish this in short order. Also aware of the net run rate that they have fallen behind Bavaria because of the results of the last match, so they'll be trying to make that up. And, I think I want to also echo the conversation in the chat that Turric, in between matches, they seem to have pulled themselves together a bit. Here's Petri, a full ball that's been driven again. Andrew Ray is doing the fielding at mid-on. So one more run to the total. Yeah, I think Turric, when they put on that big total, 130 odd, I think they might have rested on their laurels a little bit and just kind of thought that it was all in the bag. They shouldn't know, because as I mentioned, they came up short against the Sloggers the other night, who beat them in the golden ball. So this is a good ball from Petri, and Avinash did really well. He was moving across the line, he just straightened up and played it away square of the wicket on the leg side for a single. And James Stewart wondering if Rico has a new song. Well, I'll tell you what, James, from tomorrow you can have all the Rico that your heart can desire, because he'll be there with Vinny Sando in Malaga for the ECL starting tomorrow morning. That one wide down leg side, and well done by Gowson. They're scrambling through for a single. Bazaglo picks it up with the left and tries to hurl the stumps down, but to no avail as they manage to scramble, sneak an extra wide, 2 added to the total. Gee, that was a good leave. It was inches, centimetres from the stumps. Going both ways, in fact. It's time from Petri, and that's a good shout. Oh, I felt like that was a really good shout. I think umpire just undone by Vanesh walking down the pitch and confusing matters. So Petri will have to make do of his 2 overs. 24 runs have come from it, and after 3 overs, Turric a 35 for none. Yeah, pitch outside off. Might just have a look at this side on if we can. But yeah, pitched outside off and just kind of tailing back. Umpire probably thought it was going down at leg side. They've been very good, our umpires. Definitely give them the benefit of the doubt with that one as the power play comes to an end. So 16 runs off that over is a good one for Turric. Like I said, they don't need to do anything too fancy here. Hopefully just learn their lessons in that game against the Sloggers. Where in that one, yeah, Pi managed to make 44, but everyone else was in single digits as they managed just to equal that score of 78 and ended up losing it in the golden ball. So Pi's out there now, and this one, it's good delivery from Botter. I'm glad he's come into the attack. Always like seeing this young man bowl. He's carrying a little bit of a niggle, Samarth Botter, and he assures me it's okay. I told him, don't worry, you're young, those things heal themselves. He's showing no signs of ill effects at the moment. This one moving a mile back in to the right-hander. So far, it started outside off, and by the time it got to Bazaglo, who is looking like he's done himself a mischief, he was diving away to his left. One absolutely tailed back in. Oh, like I said, they get better when you're younger, but as you get older, you can feel those ones more and more. He's an absolute champion, Richard Bazaglo. Just look how much that tailed off. So the partnership up to 37 now of 20 deliveries. And they need a wicket here, Bavaria. The fuller ball that was made fuller by Pi, who comes down, whips it away through square leg, one bounce over the rope for 4. So Luke Belgium's not hedging any bets anymore in the chat. He reckons Turric are going to win. I think it's a pretty safe Safe call now with this opening partnership. And they definitely want to do it in quick order just to make sure that if the Calpe Giants come at them at the top, they've got the net run rate safe in place. But he's chipped it up to cover, and unfortunately Ryan Grimes out there. Well, yeah, that's the look of devastation when you know a chance has gone begging. The chance to get rid of Pye, hits it. And that could be a big moment in the game, certainly. This time Gals goes whack, and it has been left to Kenroy Nesta to mop it up. He does just that. Everyone's looking a little bit worse for wear. Kenroy Nesta now, he's been flying all around the place today. Found himself horizontal in the air on more than one occasion. And he did pretty well. The ball was left to him by Petrie. He had to dive around and stop it. Did pretty well in the end. That one on the stumps, looking for the Yorker. Just a little bit too full. So no trouble for Gals to slap that away to mid-wicket and take a single. So 4 overs gone now. The score is 45 for none. And of course, always want to hear what you think about it in the YouTube chat. European Cricket Network, come and join me in there along with all the usual suspects watching from around the world. It's pretty lonely here without Mr. Maximo next to me, so good to have about 380 friends in there. You can see at this stage Bavaria were 38 for 2, so Turric, I say that, Mark Gowes gets beaten in the flight and pace, taken off it by Latin, and chips it up, and Latin takes a pretty safe catch, and giving the elbows of joy, elbows of affection in pandemic celebration of jubilation. As that wicket falls, so Gals will have to walk back to the shed. They certainly need a few more of those. It'll be interesting who comes out. Yeah, it's going to be Samir Nayak coming out, and I think that's the right call. He's certainly the man that Turric would want to join the skipper out there, because it's going to take something to get either of them out. But you know, Latin is an experienced cricketer himself, and you know what Samir will be doing. He'll be really wandering around in the crease, mixing up the line, trying to get in the bowler's head. So he puts a short, flutter one in. It's been ramped up over his head. 1 bounce over the rope, 4 runs. Well, that is some way to get off the mark. That's just the experience of Samir Nayak. He is a very difficult man to bowl at in this situation, especially where you need to contain and take wickets. It's not enough just to contain here. Not enough runs on the board, and they will push it around, and they'll turn dot balls into singles like that one, and anything off the mark will find the fence. So 3 deliveries left in this over now, and that one's played pretty respectfully, but with a little bit of a whip of the wrists. Generates a bit of extra pace and manages to run it down to backward square leg and take 1. So Latin's going to be thinking of what to do here. He's got 2 deliveries left. I would float one up and then dart one in, but he darts this one in, and Samir Nayak does the same thing, and it's gone even further this time. I thought that was a 6. Umpire's called a 4. We're just going to get that double checked. But this is some incredible batting. He took his eyes off it as well. Man, 1 bounce over the rope. Good umpiring, good vision. 1 bounce over the rope, 4. But Samir Nayak, he got himself into position, and then he turned his head away, wasn't even looking at it, and managed to absolutely middle it. And this time he doesn't need to try anything fancy, because that's a short, long hop down leg side that he's just hoisted away all the way over the rope. 6 runs. Nyack once again staking his claim for possibly the most important player in any of the sides here. He can just come out and do a job. And a job is what he is doing indeed. So in the end, that is 16 runs off that over of Ian Latton's first over. He took the wicket. Pretty expensive. And after 5, Turric 61 for 1. And just a reminder that we do have the ECL starting tomorrow. We can't wait for that to get going. 9 o'clock Central European time. You can get day 1 of Group A. We've got Tunbridge Wells taking on Svanholm. Over there as a full toss is pulled away. It's been called a no ball as well, so things get even worse for Bavaria here as Bonar just let that one go a little bit too early. Probably looking for the Yorker. Beautiful seam position though, but has been no balled, hit for 4, and the worst of it is that Pi is going to have a free hit. Yeah, I've got to agree with you, Sam Nick. Nyack is creating a pretty unique wagon wheel here. So for all the kids out there, the wagon wheel, besides being a pretty delicious biscuit in the 90s in Australia, is the kind of the chart that shows where the runs have been scored, and all of his has been scored behind the wicket, behind the behind square, behind the wicket. It's pretty unconventional as Pi comes down to this free hit and tries to find the gap there, just wide of mid-on, but only finds Robin Petrie, who holds it back in. 1 more run to the total. Yeah, so starting from tomorrow, you get 5 matches of ECL and then 2 matches here. This one from Bonar. It's a pretty good line, maybe a little bit too full, but not troubling the batter at all. He's really good with his in-swingers. I think that's just what he's going for, but these are 2 really experienced campaigners, and they've both got their eye in. I think Samir Nyack was born with his eye in, to be honest with you. This one wide of the mark, and it's an edge, and it's been dropped. Really, really tough chance for Bazaglo, and you got a feel for him because he's been throwing himself around. He's definitely picked up a little niggle. Gets an affectionate pat on the back from his teammate there, but yeah, that was a big edge. And just hitting the hard part of the glove, not falling into the webbing. So unfortunate. Chance goes begging. From Bonar again, just looking for that fuller in-swinger, but once again just being padded away to the onside, and it's all pretty easy going here for Turric. Yeah, great effort by Bazaglo. He's just been fantastic behind the stumps in this series, and he's had a couple of moments where things might have got past him, and it's weighed heavily on his shoulders, but you got to say, all in all, it's been a splendid effort as Pi plays that beautiful flowing cover drive, but only as far as the man at cover. So dealing in singles, but that's all they need to deal in. That's the market that they've gone to, the singles market. Seems to be a general tone of resignation by the Bavarian players here. There's 4 on the boundary on the leg side. As he goes chasing one, he's walking. Samir Nyack, yeah, didn't even need to go to the umpire for that one. That's good sportsmanship. Again, what we've seen consistently throughout this series is the good sportsmanship of the players. And kids, if you're watching, that is how you earn respect. He has been playing these in-swingers, and that time Bonar just managed to get one going away from him. It's a little bit wider, just tempted the drive, caught on the crease a little bit, and got the edge. So he takes a walk, and that is a great example to set for everyone out there, no less. This man coming in, who is his son. That's right. And of course, he has played a great role for this Turric team as well. And tomorrow night we'll be back with matches 17 and 18. Sloggers versus the Calpe Giants, and the Sloggers, they're battling it out with the Pirates for that chance to play off for the third spot. And the Calpe Giants, who are currently sitting third, having been overtaken by Bavaria, they will be, they'll have Turric and Bavaria in their sights. They will want one of those top two spots, as this shortest straighter one from Latin is patted away behind square on the leg side for a single. Yeah, it's all looking really good for Turric here. It's also looking really good for the ACL coming up. So starting tomorrow, we got some good footage of the ground and how it's all shaping up, and such a wonderful crew getting involved and making sure that competition can take place without issue, as a wide one is called down the leg side. This one, it just plays at it and misses. Also misses Pizzaglo, who is struggling. He is carrying something, and that'll be devastating for Bavaria if he can't take place. He looks like he needs either a warm bath or an ice bath. Certainly feeling he's not able to crouch, and that will be an issue for Bavaria, because he's been probably the keeper of the tournament so far, and also a great spiritual leader of the team, along with this man bowling in Latin. 3 balls left in his spell. It's a nice leg spinner as well, played with due respect by the younger of the Nyaks. Yeah, so Rafter Online TV thinks the keeper should be changed. No, he's going to stay out there. Someone attempted sweep shot. You can see there he's really struggling just to get to it. I don't think that is Richard Pizzaglo's way, to be honest with you. I think he's going to fight this out, tough it out, for good or for bad, as another nice leg spinner is just played really deftly. He's just such a smart cricketer, Avinash Pai. Identified there's that gap there, just square of the wicket short, and finding singles, which is all they need. So Latin finishes with 1 for 20, and Turric, after 7 overs, are 77 for the loss of 2. Yeah, so that's what we've seen today. Couldn't believe it. Bavaria, well, Turric put on a mammoth totals, 129, 130, and not only did Bavaria chase it down, but they chased it down, losing only 1 wicket in the process, and with an over to spare. And then they come out in the second match and they can only muster 85. So it just shows you that T10 cricket is quite Dickensian. It's the best of times and the worst of times. There's that one from, so Nesta's coming to the attack now, and yeah, it's a tough one here for Bavaria, because they can feel that this game has slipped past them, and it's really, having only lost the 2 wickets, Turric have nothing to worry about here at all. They just need to keep doing what they're doing, which is paddle it around and rotate the strike, and they'll win convincingly. It'd be worth just giving a shout. Kenroy can generate some pace. I'd try and put a slip in. Try to force the drive. Oh, he's not bowling with any great pace there. That one seemed to have a bit of an off-cut action to it. And oh, the return throw. It looked like it hit him on the ankle. He's okay though, the big fella. Oh, and the man is back in the chat. Well, We forgot to send him an email that the fun has started up. Never too late to join, man. Although we've been here for 7 nights. This is night 8 already. There's this one straighter ball just short of length and played nicely by the younger of the Nyaks down behind square. But lovely to have you back again, the man, in our YouTube chat. It's always so the way with Gibraltarian cricket. There've been no cricket here for 5 years. I'll try to catch you up on 8 nights action in about 2 minutes. As Avinash Pai, the captain of Turric, leading his side to victory, has played that behind point. Nice, in a nice sedate way and taken a single. Oh, you got to see the golden balls. So the man got to see the golden balls. Consecutive golden balls. We got 2 nights in a row. The first 2 in ECN night cricket as Manav Nayak just works this one away to the square of the wicket for a single. Yeah, we've had a lot of action here. It's all been a lot of fun. And we started with Turric defeating the Calpe Giants convincingly twice, staking their claim for the team to beat, and they're going to not be beaten on this time because they needed 3 off 13 balls, and Avinash Pai has made it all certain by pulling this shorter ball away behind square, 4 runs, and that is the victory. So it is 1 apiece tonight. Honours go to both sides, but it's got to be said, well, they were both convincing wins, both very different, as Turric beat Bavaria by 8 wickets to maintain their position at the top of the table. And yeah, it all continues tomorrow night. So we'll have night of 11, Sloggers vs Calpe Giants. As the man in the chat, well, he's got so much to catch up on. It is nice that we haven't been relegated to commentating from the van. In fact, we have we've been put in the stadium, and you can see us here tomorrow at 4:30 GMT, 5:30 Central European, and 10 PM in India for matches 17 and 18 between the Sloggers and the Calpe Giants. And a very good evening to anyone leaving us now. We will see you then as we have a look at some of the highlights of this Turric innings. And Mark Gowles came out after having made his largest score and the largest score of the tournament, 79 not out in the previous match. He was joined by Avinash Pai, who, well, the life of Pai is pretty good at the moment, especially out in the middle, because he is a very fluid player. And even when he's edging, he's still looking pretty good. And Gowles, well, he was there doing what Gowles does best for a short while, as he made his way. Yeah, a couple of 4s, and then there was this period. So Petrie had this over. So his first over, the last ball went for 4. Oh, sorry. So in that, Petrie over 3 4s in a row, which really kind of sealed the deal and put any hope of a miraculous victory beyond the grasp of Bavaria. And then Botta came in. He was pretty good as usual. Only went for 9 in his over. And then it was Ian Lattin who finally came in, took the wicket. Gowles just popping one back up to him, and a fairly regulation catch. But as soon as that happens, this man came out. Samir Nayak hit that remarkable 4, faced 2 dots, and then decided he liked that shot so much, he's going to do it again. And then he managed to go even bigger and hit this one for 6. So that was pretty much all done and dusted. Botta came back on again, pretty economical. He did have 5 goal for no ball, or 4 goal for no ball, so that was no good. But then he also managed to pick up that wicket in Nayak, so that takes his tally, if I'm correct, to 8 wickets now, and that should make him the leading wicket taker once again in the tournament. 8 wickets he's got, and at the end of the day, it was all pretty regulation for Turric. So that's been the cricket tonight. We've had probably the best match in the tournament so far in that first fixture, and then the complete opposite in the second. But that is the nature of things here on FanCode T10 Cricket for ECN, as we have a look at the batting scorecard Pi just playing really well. 34 off 24. Didn't have to do too much too special. Mark Gow's also at the top. They put on a really nice partnership of over 50. And then Samir Nayak came in. Lifted it to beyond doubt before his son came and finished the job. So we have a look at the batting scorecard. And Boddart, once again, the pick of the bowlers, going for 19 runs of his 2 overs, but picking up that 1 wicket. And Latin, of course, picking up 1 of his very own. So that has been evening 8. Evening 8, ladies and gentlemen, of our FanCode T10 series here in Gibraltar, the second most southern tip of the European continent. I am Joe Wegasani, and it's been my absolute pleasure to once again bring you an action-packed night of cricketing entertainment. We will be back tomorrow, and don't forget as well tomorrow that the ECL starts at 9 o'clock Central European Standard Time. So 9 o'clock in the morning, you can call in now, call your employer, or if you are your own employer, then just make a note in your diary that you can give yourself the day off, and you can wake up tomorrow, grab a cup of coffee, grab a breakfast, and settle in for a full day of cricketing action. The ECL over in Malaga, something you do not want to miss. And then, of course, after that, we will be here in Gibraltar for night 9 of the FanCode T10 series Gibraltar. I'm Joe Wegasani. It's been my absolute pleasure. A big thanks to everyone for tuning in. And until tomorrow, ciao for now.